Hey everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my camera, my phone. So I had a live video this morning where we went over some cards with the Cricut Joy, and I promised some people that I would come back and do some video on thank you cards for the maker. So let me back up a little bit and say that you can do a lot of the same cards that are made for the Joy on the Maker, and there are also a bunch of cards that we can make that are free for the Maker, or there's a whole bunch of cards. So this was a little bit more difficult than doing, or this video is a little more difficult than doing the Cricut Joy cards, because those are so very set and easy to do. But with, hello Sydney, but with Maker and Explore, there are so many options. And I think I'm now just seeing why the Joy is so appealing to people, because there are it's very limited in the sense that you can't really mess it up. But on the Maker, good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Robin. On the Maker or the Explorer, it's not just a matter of just like make it. You can customize it to your heart's content. So there are some, inherent, if you're not really super familiar with Design Space, there are some drawbacks in versus doing the Joy cards. So I wanted to show you a couple of things, and also wanted to tell you, what I'm doing today as I sit and think about this social isolation. We've actually been sort of isolating since last Thursday, and we're getting a little bit stir crazy. But one of the community leaders here in my city, which is Peabody. Hi, Kathy. Is one of the community leaders came to me and asked me if I could do a tutorial on how to make a face mask. So if you are interested and you're a sewer, a sewing enthusiast, I did post a video on how to make a face mask out of fabric, woven fabric. So if you haven't seen that yet, go over to my channel, either YouTube or Facebook, and watch that video. It requires just like a few pieces of scrap material and elastic to do the ears, to hold on the ears, and it's like a little pocket, and so you can make them. And actually I'm going to be making a slew of them for my community, and it was really great to work with a community leader who has a lot of connections, more so than I have, and so she's made the hookups. In your community, I would suggest maybe if you are a sewer and you want to hook up with your community, do a Facebook search for a group in your area. Now, I'm north of Boston, but I did notice that there are a couple of new Facebook groups in Boston that are doing like sort of social sew-a-thons and things like that. So there's a lot of opportunity there. If you're not a sewer and you want to help, what I would suggest is continue to maintain your social distancing. That's the most important thing, because we need to flatten the curve here. And so that's really, really important. But while you're sitting at home, make yourself useful, take care of yourself, obviously, and your family. But if you want to do something that's good for the community or for society, I'm suggesting a card challenge for people who can make cards, who have work on Cricut. So this morning's video, which you can go back and watch because I posted, is specifically about Joy cards. But I know there are a lot of people that don't yet have a Joy, and so I wanted to show you how to do them on the Maker or the Explore. They're basically the same thing, with the exception of the adaptive tool system. So there's, I figured we could put them both together rather than having to do a third video. But so I've been collecting different cards here that I wanted to show you, and I'm going to post these Cricut files, Design Space files for you. I wanted to point out that I have a bunch that I put together. I put a bunch that are birthday, some that are love, and then I started just putting some of these sort of thank you-ish. But I think the love ones could work too, so I'm gonna post those as well. They're like a lot of really nice cards that are that would be appropriate. And then also I have this thank you card, which I'm going to show you too. So basically what these are they are designs that I created from free images that are available in Design Space. And I want to show you how to make them because it's really simple and the result is sort of the same as what you do for the Cricut Joy, only you don't use the card mat, okay? Because the card mat is something very specific to the Joy. Some people have talked about, well, I could put the card mat onto my own mat, and I have not yet tried that, so I really can't, say the efficacy of that. But basically, I just went back to, hi, Dawn. I went back to, let me just start over and make a card to show you how you can make your own card from scratch. Now you could use these images from Cricut Design Space that are free, but there's basic card making elements here that I want to show you how to do, okay? And the first part that you need to do in any making of a card, at any time, you need to insert the actual card base in there, and that we go over here to shapes and we choose the square, okay? While we're there, we're going to also choose a score line. We'll just bring it in so we don't have to go back there. So this I'm going to go up closer so you can see. So this square will be the base of our card. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to be able to shape it into whatever size card we want. Now there are two basic card sizes. One is a 5x7 card, which I know a lot of people like because they're bigger, but generally speaking, I use an A2 size card, which is basically this. Okay, so an A2 side card, the reason why I use this is to conserve my paper because I'm a paper hoarder, and I use 8.5 by 11 inch. Now you could make a 5x7 card with 8.5 by 11 inch, but it's just a habit that I'm in. So basically I want to show you how to make this base of the card with the score line, and then I'm going to show you how to attach whatever you want to attach here to make this card. So we did these cards. I'll just give you a couple of examples of what we've done. This is an A2 size card, this one here, and these were all done on the Maker, okay? So let's create our card base. So we have a square and we have a score line. So what we're going to do is, I want to get it nice and big so you can see it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to unlock this square just by hitting on the lock. Now, what you can do is you can grab the image with these green buttons if you want, or you can go above there, right here, where it says size. Okay, just for today's purposes, I'm going to show you this part with the size. So this card, when opened, which is the A2 size, is 5.5 inches tall and 8.5 inches wide. So I'm going to change the width to 8.5. And I'm going to go to the height, and you see it does create this really kind of weird look. But then I'm going to change the height to 5.5. Okay, and I know it looks really, really big on my screen, only because I made it look bigger. It's not going to actually come out that way. Okay, so that's my card. I'm going to turn it a lighter color so you can see what I do here. So once I have my card, I position it. Now, somebody texted me last night and said, you know, there's an easier way to do it, but I haven't had a chance to really follow her directions. But this is how I connect a score line to a card. Each one of these squares at the top is 1 inch. It represents 1 inch. So half of 8.5 is 4.25 or 4.25. So I take my score line and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the lighter lines represent 1/4 of an inch. So I position that score line right there. I stretch it to meet the entire card, and then I select the whole thing and I go over here to attach. Okay, so now I have a card. I'll make it slightly smaller. Now I have a card that I can do whatever. It's a base. It's a card base, and I can do whatever to it. So and you know what, you can use it as a base like this. This is a card base that we built on. It's just the base. Now this can be cut out using a cutter too, and that's fine. You can use a cutter as well. I've used cutters to make this size card, and you would do the same sort of thing, but we're doing this on the Maker, so we're creating the base on there. Now you could absolutely go and cut this out and do the scoring and then build on your card. But because we were kind of working with those joy things, I wanted to show you how to do it with like those joy elements. So the thing about these cards is that they are no glue, and they use this little insert, right? And that you put the inserts here with this tab. And then you have a really cute card that you've cut out of this one piece, and then you have the insert and you create a card. It's pretty easy to do. This is pretty easy to accomplish also on a Maker without the card mat, okay? So you have to find the graphic and put it on your base. So let's go find some graphics. Now, I will tell you, I was a little bit aghast when I went here to go to Images, because it's so different than what I'm used to seeing, because I just did an update. And so, you know, you gotta sort of overlook that. If you hit off of there, you can see your images here. It's a slight difference. So if you've done an update, it will look like this. If you haven't done an update, it will look slightly different. It will be the images that you're used to. And so what we can do is we can go to, on the left hand side, you see that they've done like over here. Let's go back. Okay. Let me just, how do I get back to the base? Base. Okay, here we go. So this was a little bit hard for me because it was, where is it? Cricut, all images. Okay, here it is. Okay, so when you get this here at the Cricut Images, remember Cartridges, and I was always sending you to Cartridges, or I was sending you to categories, and so we have different these are the same categories that we're used to seeing, but there are no graphics here. I think that's probably to make them go faster. But also there are the cartridges, which they've renamed image sets. Okay, so if you're looking for cartridges, they're under image sets. Now, I have found if you go in image sets and you type in the word quick, you will come up with a bunch of cards. There's a lot of cards here, and I will also give you the files for this. There's a whole bunch of cards here that are already pre-made. Okay, so there's that Happy Easter or Hoppy Easter and I love you and everything. But that's not what we're doing. We're going to be looking for let's see. We're going to be looking for the free for the Cricut Joy or free images. So we're going to go over here to free this week. And here we are at free this week. Here are all the images that I'm speaking of. You see, there's that Happy Easter again, but it doesn't have a card around it. Okay, so what we're going to do is grab something we like. So let's just grab this one. We'll grab a couple. So something that's going to cut out pretty quickly. And there are about like 40 or something here. So, you know, there's a lot to choose from. I really like this one. Let me choose that one. All right. So you bring it into your Cricut Design Space, your canvas, right? And there's our card. And here is our image. That's what we just pulled in, right? So we need to connect the two together. Okay, so we're going to do that by positioning it where you think it's right. And that's why that score line's important, because you want it to be close enough away from that score line. And you also want to use that square that's automatically drawn there. It's not going to appear as that, but it just kind of tells you the parameters of your image. You can also make this slightly smaller if you want, but I found these are really perfect as far as the size goes, okay? So I positioned it right about here. This is going to cut out like this. There's also some writing here, this UR, and then the and then the underlines are writing. That's not going to change when you attach this, by the way. So then once we've got it where we want it to, we're going to select the entire thing, and we're going to go over here, down here where I'm pointing, and attach it. And you'll see that it will change, because what it's done is, think of it like if you were taking two pieces of paper and you were kind of like melding them together. I don't want to say weld, because this is not weld, okay? But you're like kind of melding it together so that they become one piece. That's what the attaching does for this job. And it keeps our drawing, and it keeps our cutting, and it keeps our back of the, the background card. So let me show you how this cuts out. Actually, let me do this here. I'm going to show you how to do that again, just so you don't get confused. So we're going to create our card base. We'll go over to shapes. We do square, and we also do a score line. All right. I'm going to change this to a different color just so you can see. Now I'm going to unlock it, which you can also do up here, by the way, and I'm going to change the width to 8.5 inches and the height to 5.5 inches. And there's my card. I'm going to put it right up in the corner so I can tell how big or where I should put that score line. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4.25. I'm going to pull it down, and there's my card, and it's perfectly, the score line is perfectly centered right in the middle. We're going to attach it. Then we take our image, and we'll have to arrange it to the front, right, so we can see it. We put it where we want it. This looks good right here. And then we select everything and we attach it. Okay? So that's it. It's super simple. You're basically just creating a card base, and then you're taking some artwork and attaching it, and it will cut out like this. So let's go to, I'm going to close up a couple of these cards because we don't need to cut them all out. We'll just cut out, we can cut out both of these if we want, because they'll do it separately. So when you go to make it, it's going to, because I put different colors, you see, so now it's going to cut on 2 different mats, which is what we want, because we want to use 8.5 by 11 inch paper. Let me just grab some paper. Okay, so here's my 8.5 by 11 inch paper, and I'm just going to put it onto my mat. I'm using the 12 by 12 mat because that's what you use for a maker or an explorer. So I'm going to put it on my mat, and I'm going to move my camera to show you how this goes, okay? Because we're going to have to put in, for this first one, we're going to have to put in, because it has scoring. Now, if you have a maker and you have a scoring wheel, your design space will automatically know that, and it will ask you to put in a scoring wheel. However, you do not have to use a scoring wheel every single time, and you can edit it, change it to use whatever scoring device you want to use. I use a lot of times for cards, I just use this. It's a scoring stylus. And the reason why I use it is I don't want to have to stop and change out my blade. So it goes into the left-hand side. I hold it and I click it in. All right. And let me just, I do have to make the change on design space where it's going to ask me, actually, I'm going to move you back over here just so you can see. See how it asks, it says to me, you need to put in that single scoring wheel. But we don't want to use the single scoring wheel. We want to use the stylus. So we're going to hit Edit Tools, and we're going to choose Scoring Stylus and Apply. So now it's changed. So in the Load Tools and Materials, it says now you need to have the scoring stylus and the blade in there. So let's go back to the machine. I've got my scoring stylus in. My blade is already here, and now I'm going to put my mat in. And this is different because the Joy has no buttons, but these machines do, okay? So when I'm ready, I'm going to hit the flashing C, and it's going to do the scoring first, okay? So it's going to go through and do the scoring first, and then it's going to go and cut the rest of the card, including the area around the card. While I'm waiting for it to cut, I'm going to get my paper ready for the next one that has the writing. So it's just check in right here and find out, are you guys okay? Is there something you're not seeing that you want to see? Last night I did this part of the demonstration. I did it live, and some people, Cindy actually, one of my admins, was asking about how to put sentiments there, and it was a very long lesson only because it's like two separate like types of projects. And I can do, if everybody wants to see how to do the sentiments, I can do that. I just don't want to take up too much of your time today. So I wanted to just show you how to make a card, a Cricut Joy card on the Maker today, and then I can come back and do sentiments later. There are lots of wonderful sentiments that are pre-made and are super easy. Sorry to change up. When did you get... You know what, Sydney, I gotta tell you, this morning, after I did the Joy video with my iPad, I did not get a message from my iPad, but I came here to start working on this video, and I got the message, an update is needed. Do you want to update? And I was like, yeah, sure. I updated it. And when I opened it up, I was like, I cannot believe that it changed this much. And it really kind of hit me for a loop, and I was kind of, oh, how am I going to do this video? So if you get asked, just be prepared. Okay, so here's our card. Be prepared that update is going to happen. Personally, I don't think that they should have done an update when everybody's home and sort of needs, comfort and things that are familiar. I'm on my Cricut at the Joy. How do I get the image to my canvas? It goes right to cut. Okay, so the thing about this with a Cricut Joy, which Robin, I want to point you to. I want to point you to the earlier video, first of all. But the second of all, when you're doing it, it's assuming that you're doing it on a card mat. And so you would have to change it similarly to this kind of cut, but without the scoring. If you need a little bit more detail on that, I'm happy to provide it. So, okay, so there's our card. We just made a Joy card for our Maker. Super easy. Let's show you the next one, which has some writing in it. So here's my mat. I'm going to load that in. The difference here is that I'm going to need a pen. Well, okay, so first we're going to have to use the scoring stylus. So it's already in there. And my blade's already in there. And then when it's done doing the scoring, it's going to ask me to put in the pen, which I'm going to do as soon as it's done. So we got to take out and put in the pen. So take out that scoring stylus, take the pen, and they have to be the regular pens, not the Joy pens, okay? Click it in, close it, and then get it started again. And now it's going to do all the writing. And then once the writing is done, it's going to do the cutting. Okay. Now, and just, I don't know if I showed you this, but there's another one that's pen and cutting, and these are all available in Design Space, and they are free. Some of them are free to everyone, and some of them are free to Design Space customers. And you'll know if you're a Design Space subscriber, it has a little green A on it. That means if as long as you're a subscriber, it's free for you to use. Okay. The free ones actually have the word free written on the back. I'm sorry, on the bottom to the left, it says free. Another card that I did, and I will give you all of these cards, is this one here. I don't know if you're an old-time customer of, like, you got your machine a long time ago, you might have had this as a free project. And I really liked it, but I'll be honest with you, it cut wrong. I don't know why it cut wrong, but it wasn't big enough. I'm going to have to go back and redo it. But it was really cute because it used this black paper and this silver pen, which I really love that look. And then I used a piece of glitter cardstock to put in the bottom there. And this card actually didn't have scoring. It just has this little notch here. That's from way before they even had a scoring element to it. So, let's see. Let's see if there's anything else that I can tell you while this is cutting out. Takes a little bit longer. And you know what? I'll be honest. I think that the Maker is a little slower than the Explore and the Joy. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that or had any input on that, because I'm used to it going so fast because I've been working on the Joy almost exclusively, and I came back here and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's really I can't talk long enough to fill in the time. So I apologize for the slowness of my mission. Like I'm apologizing for something I really can't do anything about. I apologize that I'm not prepared to talk as long as it takes to cut the card. How's that? So it's almost at the end. And then we'll be able to take it out. It's almost there. So it's doing the outside of the card first, which is kind of interesting. I hadn't thought about that. Okay, done. Let's show you this one. So here's the card. I want to do it, I don't want to rip it. There we go. And you have to, where it's scored, you have to fold it, of course. You can use your finger or like a scraper or something. And then I don't have all that many inserts. So we can take the insert and put it in those tabs. And there you go. Oh, thank you, Sydney. She's saying that I do such good videos with awesome information. I try. You know what? I'm fairly new to this video stuff, and I know you only see my hands. It's just because I'm a one-woman show, and I'm doing this by myself. If I had somebody that could video me, I would do that. But I think it's probably more important to see how this works. And so that's why I do it where you can't really see my face, because I'd rather you see the end result and how to do it on the computer. So those are just a few of the cards. Now I will come back, later, because I will put these cards. Yeah, everybody's home, so we can do these things. We have done a number of different cards, both on the Joy and the Maker. All of those videos are on my YouTube channel, so if you haven't already subscribed, I would definitely recommend that you do, because there's just a lot there. And you know, sometimes people ask me, can you do a video about sentiments? And there already is a sentiment video on how to put the sentiments on the inside and where to find them. And so I kind of struggle with, should I redo the video? Maybe they didn't think, you know, or they couldn't find it or whatever. So, but go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and you'll see all of those videos there. And then we also have been doing live videos, usually Friday nights, because nobody has dates on Friday nights anymore. And so we do little giveaways, and we have some fun chat on YouTube on Friday night. So if you're a subscriber, you'll be informed by the YouTube. If you're subscribed, you'll be informed by them that I'm going live, and for you to come if you're available. You can also watch it after the fact too, but you can't ask questions at that time. So, okay. Yes, Kathy, and I'm very cognizant of the fact, you know, Kathy is saying, you know, thanks for showing us how to do this on the bigger machines. Look, you know, I realized when the Joy came out that there were a lot of customers a lot of Cricut users that already had invested, especially since it just came out a couple months after Christmas, and a lot of us have new machines. So I don't think that that was on purpose or for any other reason except that, you know, they wanted to launch it. But some people did feel a little bit left out, and I understand that. So I want to always try to come up with ways to do it on both machines, so that nobody feels left out, because it kind of stinks to be left out. And so that's what I'll always try to do. Hey, yeah, Don, we came on earlier this week. We did a lot of stuff, I think, because I'm stuck at home. Let's see, we did a free tissue box cover, 2 different sizes that we got the SVG from SVG Cuts. And then what else did we do? We did a beautiful Celtic knot that I did in holographic sparkle vinyl. So that was fun. I did the face masks. I also did these adorable like treat boxes that my friend is going to use for her daughter's bridal shower, which got rescheduled, but I figured I'd cut them out anyway, and I wanted to show you how to take a Christmas image and turn it into a regular image. So we did that, and trying to think what else we did, but we had a very busy week this week. We had a mystery box earlier the week too. So yep, stay tuned. I will continue to be here and doing videos. I'm trying to put together my week going into next week. So any kind of feedback you want to give me, even after at the end of the video, things that you want to see, I'm happy to sort of pivot and do whatever it is that you want to see. So just simply write me a comment saying, I really need help with this, and I'm happy to show you and put together a little video, whether it's going to be live or if I pre-record it. Depends on the complexity of it. But yeah, I'm doing these for you guys, and so I need to get input so I know what you want to see. That's really helpful to me. So thank you everyone for joining me today, and I will see you again really soon. I have to go finish doing some sewing to make those face masks, and then I'll be putting together something for tomorrow. So we'll have a video tomorrow, and we're just gonna persevere together. We're all in the same boat here. If you're stuck at home like me and trying to be a good community member by isolating and everything, well, I'm here for you, and we're all here for each other. We're all in this together. So let's go ahead and hang around with each other for the next foreseeable future. All right. So take care of yourselves. Be good to yourselves, and we'll see you again really soon. Bye.